What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Thursday. Making it to the end of the week here. Streaming with the Hawk's Nest in about 3 hours. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jags game. We're going to be talking a bunch about this upcoming Texans game. So definitely tune in. You guys know how we do it. You guys know that we know how to have fun. So tune in. Just a few hours away. My side, his side, either way. First, though, we've got to do our pass coverage Thursday video. And not a bad week, I would say. In fact, of the things that are concerning last week in coverage, a lot of it has to do with players that really shouldn't be out there being out there. Certainly in the case of Shaq Griffin, I think we are also maybe getting there with Josh Jobe. That depends more on who you ask. But pretty good week. So we're going to break it down player by player. First, though, let me tell you guys about Sleeper. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, welcome back. So, linebackers, this is where things get interesting, right? Because the Seahawks seem to have made a non-trivial decision this week at linebacker. Not regarding Ernest Jones, and Ernest Jones was fine in coverage this week, and he was fine in general. Got targeted 3 times, gave up less than 20 yards. I'm totally fine with that from Ernest Jones because he's not really a cover guy, and so far this year, he has not been a big coverage liability in terms of the raw numbers. I know it's not that simple, but you can't really argue with the end result right now. Tyrese Knight, though, didn't really play. Did not really get a chance to play. I think he played like 2 snaps, did not get targeted. The guy who did get all the snaps was Drake Thomas. 8 targets for him, 4 completions for a total of 32 yards. And that is the main reason why he is the one getting the snaps at this moment. Tyrese Knight was proving to be a big liability in coverage. You can see that his numbers were rough to start the year. 198 yards allowed in 16 targets. We've seen worse in Seattle, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to say that this is the worst I've ever seen, but it was getting tough. It was getting tough. So now Drake Thomas gets a full game, and numerically, at least, it's better. And I think the play is better, too. Is the improvement here worth the deficiencies you might have in other areas? That's the part we're going to have to find out over the next several weeks, but it looks like Drake Thomas has the spot. QB rating when targeted is actually pretty good because while they are completing passes on him, they're not getting a lot of ground here. Excuse me. Edge rusher, the only thing to report this week, we had 1 completion on Nwosu that didn't really go anywhere. In fact, I believe, it really didn't go anywhere. It actually went backwards. So Nwosu now down to, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's not correct. I was actually about to say, I don't think that can be right. This should be a 7. So it was a loss of 1 yard on that play, but on the season, he's allowed 7 yards in coverage. Again, I don't sweat this edge rusher coverage stuff too much because they don't do enough in coverage to make any kind of to make any kind of a real difference, I think. With rare exception, these edge rushers are not really here to cover. I just do it for completionist's sake. Mafe did give up a 14-yarder in this game. That's the one big play against a Seattle edge rusher in coverage so far this year. And I guess if you want to criticize anybody, he's the guy to criticize because he's the guy who's getting actually beat up a little bit. But it's all yak anyway, right? It's all yak. So to say that Maffei's the only guy responsible for it, I think is kind of missing the point. But whatever, whatever. Well, the numbers are there. We're going to use them. Cornerback, though. Cornerback. This is where things get a little more interesting. Witherspoon and Woolen did not play, so nothing there. Josh Jobe. Kind of a mixed bag here, and it just depends on who you ask. He got targeted 11 times in this game. 5 completions. Not that bad, right? 5 out of 11. I can live with that from a corner, especially not one of your best corners necessarily, although some people would say that he is. But we are talking about 63 yards allowed. Now, 63 yards, 11 targets. I don't think that's anything egregious, but a lot of Jacksonville's positive plays were done on Jobe, so, you know, you'll have to kind of, your mileage may vary on this one, right? And he did allow a touchdown, his first touchdown of the season. QB rating allowed when targeted is still quite good, but it's on an upward slope. So this is where the Josh Jobe thing becomes complicated. On the one hand, he is capable. On the other hand, he doesn't have the physical talent to really hang in there. Excuse me. Wow. My bad. Doesn't really have the physical talent to hang in there and be great from week to week. There are going to be weeks, there are going to be plays, there are going to be sequences where he just gets beat. And there is some talk that this team is starting to lose faith in him. There's been some speculation that we're looking to trade for a corner because Jobe has kind of lost the confidence of the staff. So we'll see. Maybe it's Woolen. Maybe it's just kind of a misdirect from Woolen. I don't know. I will say, though, with Woolen out, I think we've noticed a clear drop down to the other guys. And that's not me defending Woolen. That's me anti-defending everybody else. Kendrick and Pritchett did play, but they didn't really play enough to do anything, so there's not much to report. Shaq Griffin did get picked on. As you would expect, he got targeted 7 times, gave up 6 completions for a grand total of, I want to say, okay, let me make sure I get this right here. Yeah, 54 yards. So, not good. And he also gave up the touchdown. I think it was on a miscommunication. So, yeah, it's not good, but come on, guys. It's Shaq Griffin, right? He was on the practice squad for a reason. He's just hanging on for dear life right now, and I don't think he got completely destroyed out there. It was just kind of a typical bad game, and I think that from a guy like Shaq Griffin at this point in his career, yeah, you take that and you live with it. So, not bad there. Nothing too bad there. Safeties. So, interesting stuff here. Kobe Bryant targeted 5 times in this game, 4 completions, and looks like it was for quite a few yards, right? Over 50. So not great, right? We're not thrilled. We're not over the moon about where Kobe's numbers are as a safety, especially a free safety. This is indicative of some trouble, but he hasn't given up the big play yet, so I'm not going to freak out about that too much. I mean, he's giving up fewer yards than some of our corners, so I'm not too twisted up about this. 66.2 when targeted because of his picks. So it's one of those things where each person will just have to decide if the juice is worth the squeeze. Eamon Wari did, according to PFR, give up a lot. 6 targets, 6 completions in this game, but the yardage is not overly significant. We're talking about 32 yards. I can live with that, especially with all the other stuff he's doing that I think is adding value to this team. So 10 for 10 on the season, but only 45 yards? Sure. I know he's basically playing slot corner, by the way, but I just leave him in safety because, well, whatever. I think we all understand that he's going all over the place, though, anyway. So even if I put him at corner, it wouldn't really be doing what he's doing full justice. 1 second, please. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, good stuff from Eamon Wari doing his thing. Ty Okada, I mean, look, he's another guy. Shouldn't really be out there, so I don't dog on him too hard. This game, it was 3 targets, 1 completion for a grand total of 17 yards. I mean, that's fine. Now, that's very different from the PFF numbers, and I do think Okada made mistakes that allowed some completions to happen that got put on Shaq or Jobe. But regardless, that's 2 different grading sites that now have said that Okada wasn't really the big guy to blame for a lot of what happened on Sunday that was bad. And there wasn't that much bad, to be perfectly honest. So, Okada, limited player, Definitely getting beat overall, definitely a problem, but he's a backup. And as far as backups go, he's really not doing that badly. And this game was okay. 129 QB rating when targeted, but that is coming down from where we started. Remember, he allowed the touchdown against the Niners to start the season. He allowed the touchdown against, I think, the Saints. So he is kind of going in the right direction here. He just started in a really bad spot. Okay, that's your pass coverage Thursday. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, stream in a few hours. I will see you guys soon. Go Hawks. And yeah, looking good. Looking good overall, man. Tomorrow's video is going to be the fun one, though, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. Everyone have a good rest of your day. See you soon.